just what's going on. Okay, so we have this what I call the split dichotomy universe, where it's either completely destroyed or completely hopeful, or somewhere in confusion, lost in confusion, and the little people are frightened. And yes, I mean, not just little people, but all people are frightened. We're the little people, right? And I've just learned a lot of things today about the state of corruption of the U.S. and I guess through the lens, through the porthole of the porthole of Charlie Kirk, and the fact that so many people were involved that lied about their involvement, and then this connection to Romania, and then I look up Romania, and what do I see? But Greg Lurie being sued, his Harvest Church, for abuse of young girls in at the Romanian ministry. And so where have we heard that before? And it's just all roads lead to the same place, over and over again. So I'm sorry about that. So today I put the lizard in. Now that the day is over, I'd say I've had about it started off at about a 6 or 7 or even 8, because I was feeling really, I was feeling, I think I had a sugar crash or something happened where I was just feeling like, I don't know how much longer I'll be around, that kind of, mortality feelings. And then it turned out to be very focused and very productive day. That wound up at I'd say wound up for me. It's a 3 going into a 2 in the evening on the Lizard Index. I don't sense. I mean, I always pray before bed. Lord, please look after us. Please protect us, because a lot of times at night, stuff happens. But as far as I think the spirits, the demons are already engaged. The lizards are engaged. The whole thing is just bracing for Atlas 3I, and the Antifa civil war, just TPUSA goes into Berkeley of all places to have a talk, and they're surprised when Antifa gets there and starts a fight, a brawl. I don't know why TPUSA would want to go to Berkeley. You're just inviting trouble, and I suppose that's what they want. A lot of people say it's the economy. A lot of people have a lot of ideas about a lot of things, and I've talked about that in the podcast, so I'm not going to go over that now. But just wanting to be clear, I see the next 24 hours as this kind of, I guess it's what General Flynn might have called this lull we're being put into, which I have to say, it's a discount. That's the weird dichotomy, is a discount on the Lizard Index down to a 2, where we're really facing, a 12, and it's bizarre, but I mean, I'm reporting it the best I can. I had done I completed a music video, like using all AI, for a very difficult learning curve, But I would just looking at the lawsuits against these AI companies, including, by the way, for some of you gumshoe musicians who think you're so high and mighty because you're not going to stoop to AI, you already are. If you're in distribution on Spotify, you are. If you're using any kind of reverb, you are. If you're using any kind of vocal tuning, you are. And the lawsuits extend to all those companies. I mean, basically, I went through all this today. And is there any chance of being shut down? I don't know. I use it to, like, my hands are not, able to really grip things anymore. I can't really play piano anymore like I used to. And I cannot, play bass anymore, all those things. So, man, I get a vision of something. And, I've always been a poet, lyricist, and I get an idea for a song and I want to go forward. So I think it's a fun tool. It's fine. I would not use AI or even AI tools as a part of my song Say it's going to go into a movie where we have mechanical rights and certain rights, I would not put it in a movie and worry about, being sued for copyright, because that's the lawsuits that are out there now are for copyright infringement, and there's some other weird, complicated stuff. But basically, every major studio, and every that means production studio, photography studios, video studios, footage, labs, Universal, Warner Brothers are all suing these companies. And so right now they're trying to, they got a class action with 200 people going against, they've kind of shut down a company called Udio, Suno, and some of these other ones. Is there a danger in using it for, for your own expression? I'm not a professional musician. I mean, I've done professional work of working on people's stuff, but I'm not a professional musician. I have had songs in movies, and those were all fully licensed, and ready to go. And right now I feel like, because there's so many people involved in it, I don't know if you know this, but Suno, for example, is a $2 billion company. Udio is something about the same, about a $2 billion, $1.5 billion company. They got sued, and they made a settlement with, I'm not sure exactly, who, the class action suit, to stop, um, to prevent people from using their users who pay for the service from using their output, their users from using the outputs. In other words, they can't download music and go share it or whatever. So, I wouldn't. Should it cost the price of a house to produce an album? It's another ethical concern. Should it cost some producer that doesn't know anybody and he needs access to tools and things and brass section and rhythm section and different things? Should he be denied that? We went through the same thing with loops and samples. Remember, MIDI loops and samples, and they launched all these lawsuits back then, and really nothing happened. At this point, you need a license if you have any pre-recorded material, loops, samples. They're pre-recorded, and those are in your track, and it's in your movie. Let's say, okay, so you have to have a license for that technically, but the restrictions have relaxed. Do I think you can stop AI through lawsuits? No. But I have a feeling what's happening is a hostile takeover. In other words, with these companies like Universal Music, love to get their hands on a Suno or something like that and get all that revenue coming in. Because remember, when you use AI to create, and then you think you're going to make your fortune on Spotify, you're paying them. They're getting paid. You're not getting, you might get a pittance for your stream, but you're not getting paid. So, so that's my latest on it. I will continue to do whatever the fuck I want to do with music. I did a video today, which is just a video you could see on a bus. You could be on a bus traveling, you could look, oh, look, there's a video going. It could be up on a billboard on Times Square. You wouldn't think anything of it. It would just be like background noise. And so that's cool. But I intend to start producing some really strange effects. I just have this like insane desire to get this, to process what this world completely, just process it. And so I got to use everything, including making myself part of the problem and part of the solution. But my advice for musicians, composers, I would just, me personally, I would not submit anything, AI, anything to publishers or to record labels. I have obviously no desire to be, a popular artist trying to conform to the middle so people will like me. Will you like me? As opposed to, what music is really for, which is sometimes sounding the alarm. too. So we feel a lot better right now.
From the start they were apart, from their outposts of power, gained from the destruction of innocence.